Welcome to the Spike Camp podcast. Spike Camp is a free online community for hunters that support conservation. It's a great place to share stories and your experience with other hunters. As a member of Spike Camp, you get access to all of our hunting live streams, discussion channels, contests, hunter resources, and events that we host. Membership to Spike Camp is free. Our only ask is that you are a member of a hunting or conservation group before you register. Head over to spikecamp.com to join us. This episode of the Spike Camp podcast is brought to you in part by Frontiersmen Gear. Frontiersmen Gear was founded to build products for those people that are seeking true adventure in their lives. High quality, handmade knives and leather goods that are built right here in Canada with a lifetime warranty. Made by hand and built to use. Visit frontiersmengear.ca to see their available products and learn more.
Before we get going, I just want to remind everybody about the member rewards program. This month, we're giving away an Onyx Elite membership and a Dale & Company vinyl harness with bear spray holster, rangefinder pouch, and a cell phone accessory pouch. So make sure you get your points, get on the platform, engage, do all that stuff that's in there for criteria, and try to build some points up so you can win a prize. So tonight we have two special guests in the house for this episode of the Ram Down series. Father and son team, Ronny and Eric Derksen. So if you guys recall, Ronny submitted a story about Eric's first sheep hunt for the 2025 Story of the Year contest, and it was selected as the winning story. Grand prize was a fierce carbon rogue chambered in 7 backcountry with a burst veracity scope, donated by Omer and Jack of Precision Optics. So congratulations on winning that, you guys, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So for those that maybe don't know, Ronny has been hunting sheep for a very long time. How many years?
2001 was my first sheep hunt.
2001. So well over 2 decades of sheep hunting experience. I had Ronny on the show last year for the Sheep Camp series on with Kevin Willis. It was a great show. These two, they go way back, but they hadn't seen each other in probably 20 years, right? It'll be close to that. 15, 20?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So the title of that episode, I called it Stories from the Vault. And for those, if you missed it or you want to find it, go into our podcast episodes. It's episode 61. I would encourage you to give that show a listen. There is a ton of gold in there. So before we dive into Eric's story, Ron, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions just to give the listeners a little background. So you started, what was the year you said your first sheep hunt? 2000?
Yeah, 2001 was the first sheep hunt I was on.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I kind of stumbled across a pin through some people talking, and we just put our finger on the map and said, let's go. So me and my partner, we just went in blind, did everything wrong, and through funny circumstances, we ended up bringing home a ram. So it was definitely not our doing.
Well, that's awesome.
We had the will, but we had no knowledge.
So how old were you? I guess how long before that did you decide you wanted to go sheep hunting, and what kind of triggered you to get into it?
Seriously, like, I didn't even know what a sheep was when I bought the tag. Like, we were going in for elk in 2000, and we met some real weirdos in Muncho Lake there. I told the story.
Oh yeah,
last time.
Last show, yeah.
So that's where this, I guess that's where the idea of what a sheep like that we can even hunt came from. That one guy who was whittling in his gun on the whittling the stone sheep on the buttstock of his gun. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like I just ruminated on that all season long. And then when the season ended, that's when, like, we had a really good mule deer season that year. And my buddy, who it was his first hunt, he just looked at me and said, "Oh, mule deer are easy. What else is hard?" And I had overheard this conversation of these people talking about their sheep hunt, and they had a pin on the. I'd gotten a pin from where they had hunted, so because my buddy, like, I was trying to shut him up. I'm like, you want to go for something hard? Let's go for sheep. We don't even know what that is. So he just looked at me and says, let's go. So okay, and then 2 young guys, we went out and did everything wrong.
So
Seriously, everything wrong.
But you came from a hunting background, because I know in chatting with you, you've talked about your trips with your dad and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
he was not a sheep hunter then.
No, he was a meat hunter.
Yeah.
He had a lot of desire and a lot of wisdom and a lot of luck too. So I learned off of him, and the whole like trophy thing. Like, I just took it to the next level. Often he'd look at me and say, "Why aren't we shooting this?" And it's like, we want bigger. We want longer.
So that first trip you went on with your buddy, and you guys, like as you said, maybe not deservedly, but you ended up killing a good ram, and legal ram, obviously bringing it back. What was the appeal for you? Was it the adventure? Was it the animal itself? Combination of the challenges? What really kind of made it stick for you?
Okay, there's actually a couple of questions there. So I actually just wanted to go on an adventure, and it was like I was doing it without my dad. So it was like the first trip without him, and my partner didn't know anything. So it was literally like 95% of the stuff was on my shoulders, whether we survived, whether we had success. So I think that brought the largest appeal to let's go do it. And then after we had success, I thought, oh yeah, this is easy. Let's go do it again next year.
Got that confidence
going,
yeah.
And we know exactly where they're going to be, right? Yeah, right. So the next year we went in with a lot more confidence, and that's the year when we came across. We ended up there was 5 legal rams, and the biggest group I've ever seen. The largest ram was we called him the Gray Ghost. He was huge, absolutely huge. So there's a different group in that same valley. We didn't know it, so they ended up shooting the Gray Ghost, and John and I went around and ended up shooting 2 of the other rams. So we had a triple header, and that, not getting the Gray Ghost, that lit a fire under me. I'm like, I'm gonna get a ram like this, and it's like 25 years later, I'm still looking for that. We've seen a few,
but you've got
like
some stud rams. Actually, I got one of your rams. It's which one is he? He's right here, right? What's yours?
He's probably the prettiest. He's not. Yeah, he's the prettiest. He's in. I really like that ram. He's 10 years old.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
He was by himself. He's like when you think of an old grandpa, like that's what he was. He had no friends with him. He was just living out his last remaining days or maybe year himself. So
one more winter, right? That's what they always say.
To see double digits, like that's what excites me. Like love seeing 9-year-olds too. Like, but I mean, when I see double digits, like that gets me jazzed.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm sure everybody on the show tonight has read your story. So we're not going to pick apart the story, because I really want people to go in there and get maximum value on that story, because it's so good, it's so well written. There's pictures in there. I'm not going to share those pictures tonight. Again, we're going to talk about some of those photos, but I really want people to get in and get the full magnitude of the story. But one of the things that I really love about that story is that literally in the first couple of paragraphs, you start off talking about a sheep hunt. I mean, you open the story with a story about a sheep hunt with your youngest brother-in-law, I think it was. He was 18 years old, and that was his first hunt, first ram. So my question for you is, like, what does it mean to you now, after almost 25 years of sheep hunting? What does it mean to you when you get to introduce someone to sheep hunting? Because you seem to do this a lot. Take first-time sheep hunters.
Yeah, I actually really love it. I love success. I love the hardness of a sheep hunt. It's not the hardest thing to do, but it's not easy. Like there's not an easy sheep hunt. So like I love the whole going and doing it, but am I going to shoot every year? Like that's not what we should be doing. So
Mhm.
we can bring somebody who hasn't before, or maybe only has one, like then we get the potential to have success. I get to see the success through new eyes, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Well, it just you answered it, but basically, I
Okay.
was like, "What does it mean to you to introduce someone to sheep hunting?" But I mean, you basically said it. You get to live it through their eyes.
I love the whole walk up,
Mhm.
living in the moment. Like I get it as excited as the trigger puller.
Mhm.
Like I maybe even more like when Eric, I got it on video just before Eric shoots. Like he's cool as a cucumber, and I'm like inside. I can see it in my eyes. I'm just like I'm freaking out, but I'm like live in the moment and enjoy it. Like
Mhm.
whether he hits it or not, big deal.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. And then I just kind of I was recording like a kind of a selfie, and then I turned it off and I said, Eric, shoot when you're ready. He
Mhm.
shot. We had that moment, just the him and I, and then as soon as the thing fell, did it fall down already? Yeah, I think it just fell down. The ram that was with him starts running up the hill, and that's when I just picked up my phone and hit record again.
Mhm.
I had that like 15 seconds or 10 seconds just for us.
And that's when you took
Right.
that little selfie. You're laying beside Eric.
Yeah.
And he's looking through the rifle.
Yeah, so I
that's
took a
right.
still from the video. Like
Yeah.
the video itself will show you one
Right.
day.
Yeah.
It's something that would get us all jazzed, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
And
awesome.
again, go to the story on Spike Cap, find these photos. And in that photo, the coolest part of that is your face, Ron. It looked like, it looked like you were like a kid on Christmas morning. And Eric, the look on his face looked like he was just clicking the safety off and going to shoot his 10th round.
Yeah.
Like he's like cool as a cucumber. And the look in your eyes is like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Like it is such a great photo. You'll see it. So like I said, get on the platform and
The video's even better.
oh,
Because that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. I'm just like, stop freaking out, Ronnie. Like, just enjoy this. You're here with your son. You've been waiting for this for decades.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, awesome. No, it's such a good experience. And again, it's the same whether it's it's not really the same, but that feeling of walking up with someone special when they shoot their first animal. Like I had a similar experience with Blake this year when he shot his whitetail. I mean, he shot whitetail before, but he never shot one like that. And I've got his on video, and I'm the one that I lose my mind on the video. And there's words coming out of my mouth that I can't share on social media without getting in trouble. But Blake's the one; he's just shocked and happy, and I'm the one that's dropping the F-bombs and getting all excited. But anyway, yeah, it's a great moment. Check out those photos, you guys, when you get a chance. So Eric, after getting to know your dad, I mean, it really didn't take me long to realize how great of a storyteller he is.
Oh yeah.
And how passionate he is about mountain hunting and sheep hunting in particular. And this is mentioned in your story about something that's important for the Derksen family, and that's the storytelling is a big part of the Derksen family life, coming back from these adventures. So I want to hear from you what it was like growing up in a sheep hunter's house and being a little boy, seeing dad come home year after year with all these amazing stories. And in most cases, animals, not always, I'm sure. Maybe it was always, but I don't think so. So tell me a little bit about that. What was it like as a little boy when dad was going on a trip and coming home?
Yeah, so I think my dad, he probably got it from my opa because he tells amazing stories. And yeah, every time he'd come home, I'd just be like so interested in it because it's about like going on Mars. Like you don't know anything about the land that he's talking about. You're curious about it. Like there's huge mountains that I can't even understand until you go. And there's animals that you've never seen before. And it just like lit a fire in me that I want to be that explorer one day. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when was that? Like how old would you say when you first start thinking, like kids when they're young, they're either starting to think about hunting or it could be hockey, could be soccer. Like what age do you remember going, oh, I wish I was going?
Hunting, it's probably about age 8 or 9, right before I got my license. I was really just hoping to go. And sheep hunting is probably last year when I was 14. I was like seriously thinking, like, can I actually do this? Because I want to do it with my dad, just me and him.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you knew you had the hook set when you're telling stories, and kids are in their PJs and 8 or 9 years old, and they're asking a gazillion questions. Yeah, that is so awesome.
Chuck, let me tell you a story about Eric's first hunt.
Okay, please do.
So we were up in the Okanagan. We had like one day to hunt. So we cruised up there first thing in the morning. And I told my wife, like, we'll be home tonight. It's going to be a long drive there and back. We got one day to hunt. Well, where was it? 2 days.
2 days.
2 days, one night. He's 4 years old.
4
4 years old.
Awesome.
And I don't hunt where the truck parks. So we had to hike till he almost had blisters. And we saw a 4-pointer like way down at the bottom. It was open for any buck
I think
at
it was
the time.
anything. Yeah.
So I was thinking, take my boy, shoot whatever, and he'll see what it's all about. Of course, there's a big buck down that bottom. There's no way he could make it that far. So I just told him, like, I had my backpack that I have. Probably Arc'teryx or something. Something like that. He climbed into my backpack, and I'm running down the mountain. It's like 2K down, and I'm running with my boy in the back. And I just remember thinking, like, this is the best.
It was
Like,
amazing.
who does this, right? Like,
Yeah.
there was a kid in the backpack that's meant for, the deer that we're gonna be hauling back. So yeah, at the end, we, that day we didn't shoot, but the next day,
Yeah.
whatever it was, it
Next
was
day.
just like, that was the first memory. And I still remember, like, the decent sized 3-point that we ended up getting. And Eric had this little toy foam sword from Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Yeah.
And I've got a picture of him with the sword on top of this dead deer, and he's holding this deer up. And I'm like,
The grip and grin.
the grip and grin with the foam sword. Like,
That's so
that's what it's about.
Oh yeah. Well, I can imagine the stories, because I used to get this a little bit when I was a kid too, and I remember not being able to go with my dad and my uncle, but when you see sitting on the farm and you see the headlights pull in at 10 o'clock at night, and they were coming back from a moose hunt or a deer hunt. I'm supposed to be in bed, but I had the curtain open so I could see I knew he was coming home. You could see the headlights come in, and as soon as you hear the dog bark, then bail out of the bed, run right past my mom when she's screaming at me to get back to bed, and go right outside. And of course, now I'm not in trouble because I'm out there with them, right? I remember those days. It's pretty cool. Well, one thing, like, I guess for a little background here, Blake and I dropped the rifle off at your house a couple weeks ago, and we got to go out into your office, and it was interesting because I was watching Eric as you were telling us about each ram, and he was correcting you on details about some of those rams, about, oh no, that wasn't that trip, Dad, that was this trip, or the age and stuff. So obviously he's listening, which is awesome. And yeah, pretty cool. It's nice to have that father-son relationship and connection, right? So Ron, when did you have an age sort of in your mind when you thought Eric would be ready for a sheep hunt? Like, did you have sort of a target year where you thought you should be ready by then?
Yeah, I had in my head, I'm like, okay, when he's 18, we're going for sure. And then it's kind of whittling down, going, okay, well, maybe 17, but there's like 17 is probably about as young as he could be. And I kind of put that thought to bed, like, it's not happening when he's 15, not a chance. And then he asked, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to take you, son, but you're 14, you're just turned 15 then, and you're just not big enough. He was not big enough. And but that it's like a seed, right? It's just planted there. It's germinating, and then I'm just watching him over the course of the next few months, and he grew 6-8 inches. And like he always had the mental stamina to be a sheep hunter. From even when he had that little foam sword, he would have been a good partner going up there, but he just wasn't strong enough. So and I did want to do this where it was like, just like with Joseph, like I could kind of show Joseph how it was back in 2008. Okay, I had a third partner. There was 3 of us, but this one I wanted to do just him and me. And So that would mean that he would have to be a little bit older. And yeah, he grew up, and just looked at him. I'm like, "What do you think, son?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, when you think about the, I guess the operation of getting Eric ready for a sheep hunt, I mean, at 14, he was probably already eating the same amount as a 25-year-old,
Yeah.
right? Because he's a teenage boy and he's got long legs to fill. But at 14, before he hit that growth spurt, you got to think about how much weight and gear and how much he can handle on the mountain, right? I'm sure that was a consideration.
You can't always be thinking best case scenario. Like,
Yeah.
you're shooting things right at dark over the opposite side of the mountain, and survive. Like, we need to survive.
Mhm.
It needs to be good, and I want him to come back. It's easy to make somebody not into a sheep hunter by making it really tough.
Yeah.
So I did have that in my mind on this one, but we were not going to do the full pull. We were going to do kind of a 3/4 sheep hunt,
Mhm.
and it happened to be enough, thank goodness.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a bunch of things that I kept weighing on my mind, like, can he go, can he carry, are we going to survive, or what kind of elements are we going to be in? And there's a lot of, like, over 25 years, there's been a lot of tough trips that I was kind of weighing, going, okay, if Eric was with me on this particular trip, how would it end? Would he never want to come again? Would we make it out?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I mean, all those things, especially not just as a partner taking a rookie, it's a father taking a son
That's right.
or daughter, if that was the case. So question for you, Eric. Your dad mentioned a couple times now that he knew you had the mental toughness. What would you say helped you build mental toughness? What do you do for hobbies and stuff? Like, are you into sports and
Sports I was never really into.
Mhm.
I like playing them at school, but not really. It's more fishing.
Mhm.
Like, I got into fishing this last year or so, and I came home at least 10 times with no fish. And I try hard when I want to do something, and it definitely built that, because I was listening to different podcasts, something, trying to figure it out. I just couldn't get it, and
Mhm.
that, like, now I can fish and I'm pretty good, but it's like the determination was there,
Mhm.
and I feel like that really helped build it, as well as high school. Like, I feel like as soon as I got into high school, then I kind of had a weight on my shoulders that I had to, like, mature.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, high school can generate mental toughness too.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, so like obviously your dad knew mentally you're there. We just got to get him to a certain size. Did you guys do any backcountry like test run hunts? Like, did you go deer hunting and do backpack weekends or anything? Or was this like the first?
This was the
Big
first
trip.
real big trip.
Mhm.
Don't hear that wrong. Like, I would take them on some pretty tough mule deer hunts,
Mhm.
but really you're 3 hours from the truck.
Yeah.
Things go sideways. The snow is too deep. The weather's too cold. Like, you're in town by evening.
Yeah.
So yet at the same time, like, when we're on those mule deer trips, like, I'm taking them down these gullies that break, man.
Oh yeah.
And like, from young age, he would have blisters. He wouldn't say anything. I'd have to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" He's like, "Oh yeah, got a loony sized blister on my heel, but no complaints." So, like, he always had that mental drive, and when I do something, like, I've got that personality where, like, if I like something, I really like something, and I'm gonna get what I want. So yeah, that's how I'm with hunting.
Yeah. So with
I
Eric,
eased off now, but like 10 years ago, I would have been running in front of you. I'd been mad if you were in front of me.
yeah, there you go. Well, and obviously you'd look at Eric when he was, say 12 or whatever, going on those hunts with you, and you're thinking in your mind, going, I wonder if he's a sheep hunter. And then you see him grind it out of one of those mule deer gullies in a foot of snow, and you go, oh yeah, there's signs. There's a sign. This kid's gonna be there. So I'm curious. So Eric, when Dad said, okay, it's on, what month was this? Was this wintertime?
Probably spring sometime.
Early spring, I
Okay.
think. So I know we had a handful of months to prep.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where,
Well,
like,
you mentioned in the story that you picked some gear up at the show.
Yeah, I'm always buying stuff ahead of time.
Yeah,
So that backpack, I think I bought that backpack before, but also like,
before
it
the
was
decision was
back
made.
when
Okay.
like when Eric turned one, I bought a XR 100 for a sheep hunt one day, or for a mule deer hunt.
Oh yeah.
So my wife's like, "What are you buying a motorbike for?" I'm like, "Well, Eric's gonna need it, and we're gonna go hunting."
Exactly.
He's one.
So Eric, when Dad said it was on, and this is the year, what went through your mind?
I was kind of just, I don't know. I was interested in what it would entail. Like, I heard the stories, but couldn't wrap my mind about what it really was. And I was, I was just excited to be with my dad because, yeah, I like spending time with him. And at home, we do it basically just at dinner when I'm back from school or when it's the weekend. So I'm excited when we go on fishing trips, hunting trips, really anything.
Yeah, and that's extended time.
Yeah.
So how long? What was the time allowed for this hunt? Like on the boots?
I think we were, was it 13 or 14 days in the bush?
Okay.
So it's like a 2.5 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah, we got a little bit of grief because it was I think he was on day 2 of school when I pulled him out in the early September. So when we got back, there was some upset people, but
You got
whatever.
the rest of the year to catch up, man.
Yeah, he still finished with an 85 average, right? So,
Yeah, no, yeah. There's no dust on this kid.
yeah.
So Ron, was there when you made the decision and you told Eric, obviously you talked to the wife and got her blessing, was there that, and I'm asking this kind of as a trick question because I've had it too when I first started taking my kids on fly-in hunts and stuff, but was there a little bit of stress or anxiety when you made that decision? Like, this is real. I gotta, now I've got a bigger risk at hand. It's not just me and my buddies. I've got my kid.
It's actually like, it's quite funny. It took me back to some of the first fly-ins I did, where it's like, I started getting scared going, okay, what about these unknowns? Like, you've been through the unknowns and it was only you. And if your partner falls to the side, okay, it sucks, but like, it's not my kid, right? Like, I can help him, but I bring Eric home with a missing toe from frostbite. Like, I gotta live with this for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
no, definitely there's a lot of I hate the word anxiety, but that's probably the right word, where I would kind of go through some of those scenarios that I've been through, and then I have to tell myself it's probably not going to happen, but let's prepare for it just in case.
Yeah.
So that's why we actually didn't go up and over any big mountain passes. Like, I had that in my mind where we're not going to get stuck on the backside of something with feet of snow. Like, that's
because it can happen.
I'm not doing that with my kid.
Yeah,
it 100% can happen, and some of those passes are horrible. Like the story I wrote the previous year with my other partner, we went up and over this one pass that was awful without snow. I couldn't imagine. I mean, we've had some bad dumps. If I had to do that with my kid, like, I don't even know if I can make it. So
yeah, and as a parent, I mean, every parent that's listening to this show will agree with me, but you as a parent can go through something horrible, survive it, and then when you think about your kid having to go through that, it's like the most horrible feeling. You're like, I absolutely don't want to do it, and it leads into their adulthood too, right? Like, as an adult, kids will run into challenges, whether it's career wise or financial, or even in high school, whether it's bullying, right? Like in my day, when someone bullied you, there was only one solution.
Yeah,
you throw that first punch if you're the one getting bullied. In today's world, it's a completely different story. So those things, I can just imagine, I mean, I took my kids on some big trips, but they were never sheep hunts until, Blake's the only one that's really been on a sheep hunt, Steph on a couple fly-ins, but yeah, I can imagine. So
I didn't make that choice lightly. Like, of course, the man pride in us want to say we want our kid to come with us and we want them to succeed and all that kind of stuff. And like, those thoughts are there, right? But it's like, no, I wanted to go and enjoy a trip with my son. Like, I didn't want to just have them succeed, and then we can put another notch on our belt. Say, yeah, my kid shot a sheep. No, it's like I want to go out there. I want to show him what I can do, what he can do, learn in the experience. And if he misses, big deal. Like when we were lined up, it was a far shot for him, right? Like a 235-yard shot is it's tough for me on a sheep. Like,
Yeah.
I get excited.
That's the farthest I've ever shot.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
So even when we were lined up, like I told Eric, look, you got one shot. If you miss, no problem. Like we're having a good time. And I meant that, like before we
No
set
stress.
foot. Like no stress, but we're gonna work hard. We're gonna do what we can to get you success. But if you miss or if we don't find anything, it's gonna be a great trip. And like I think that helps, especially in like sheep hunt is a war of attrition, right? Like it's day after day of like in your own head, and you have to tell your own head saying, get out bad thoughts, we're gonna make this happen. And we're gonna have a good time. And we're not gonna pout if it sucks. Like because like a sucky day in the sheep mountains is still awesome. Better than school. So,
Absolutely. So Eric, what was the training and prep like? What did you guys do between go time or the time you decided you were going to go and the time you guys hit the road? Like what kind of things did you have to work on?
Basically just had to work on getting gear
Mm-hmm.
because I was already prepared for deer hunts, but I don't know. I just had to be as strong as my dad. I was just trying to think about that.
Mhm.
Like when we're deer hunting, am I like, is he too fast for me? Because if he is, then I have to say something. Because sheep hunting, it's that times 10.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think we just had to work on getting gear and also like not eating junk food so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
did we do any training?
No, not that yet.
Well, I know your dad. That was a trick question because I've asked your dad that very question. What's your training routine look like? And I mean, he hunts with his heart, and he gets out there and kicks ass every year. right?
I do some training every year though.
Yeah.
Usually around June, I stop eating dessert.
That's good training. Yeah, you don't get that sore hand from opening the fridge. And
Usually start around May, sometimes June.
oh, there you go. They're getting on it. What's the month this year? You're gonna start like in April, maybe? You don't want to go crazy.
We'll stick to our routine.
Hey, if it works, it works. Oh, I was gonna ask Ron this, and you kind of already answered it, I guess, but did you use this as an opportunity to upgrade some gear? Because you obviously have some stuff you could send Eric's way, right?
I think a lot of you
I got your boots.
got my boots, my new boots that I bought for myself.
Oh, they were
Um,
new boots, and you guys had the same size feet, or
I
We
like
do
half
now.
size.
you do now? He caught up. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know, like I like the idea of like taking my stuff and handing it down and then getting new stuff. But actually, my dad was always the opposite. He would have his stuff, and then as I would need stuff, he would actually contribute to the new stuff for me.
Okay.
So it's like one of those things where it's like if there's something I want, I actually want to buy it for myself. But then it's like, well, this actually would be better for my kid. So then I'm trying to get my kids the
Mhm.
things that I actually want. So
Mhm.
'cause I got more than enough gear. Like we all, after hunting for so long, we don't need another jacket. Sure, we want that latest jacket or
Yeah.
another backpack, but I don't think I upgraded anything.
Your binoculars, you did.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I got a
There's
got a
that.
pair of rangefinder Swarovskis.
Yeah,
Those
it was a slight upgrade. What did you have before?
the non-range.
Okay, there you go. So then,
So I haven't given it to him yet. I've got them in the hunting gear. We picked up a pair of Zeiss.
Yeah.
Zeiss from the sheep from the silent auction table.
oh,
This trip.
the
or this
Conquest
last-
vinyls.
I think
those
so.
are
That's
good.
something like that.
I don't remember.
I don't even know.
So that's the
yeah.
vinyls. Eric took those on
Yeah.
the hunt then.
They're
Ah,
nice.
So I bought
That's a
those
nice
for
start.
him,
Yeah.
and then these rangefinder binoculars came on marketplace, so I bought those, but I couldn't now. Yeah. Anyway, it's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Hand-me-downs are coming.
The tip I give people is when you're hunting with whether it's a kid or somebody who's younger than you, when you get up to my age, it's not a bad idea to fund a really good set of binos for that younger person, because they're going to spot a lot more stuff than you do. And Blake, I picked up a used, I think they're 10 by 50s Swaros, like a used set. And this is that time of year where you find the used stuff hits marketplace and in the forums and stuff, especially when something new, the latest and greatest comes out, like the stabilizing vinyls that are hitting the market. But yeah,
don't show those to me. I know.
No, I know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, for sure. What about the food and diet? Like for a first time trip, this must have been interesting to plan. How did that go? How did you, like, you know what you're going to pack? You do the same thing every year, I'm sure.
It's a good question, Eric. Tell me about the food.
So yeah, I just kind of packed the same as he did. We kind of got a Ziploc about this big or so for each, like Kia ones for each day. And I would throw, I don't know, 3 granola bars, some mangoes, fig bars, stuff like that, some trail mix. That was my lunch. And then I would have, what are they called? The Quaker oatmeal, like packets for breakfast. And then for dinner, that was where we'd have the good meals. We'd have either Trail Fair or Peak. And I enjoyed those.
Yeah, those are good. How about those Trail Fair meals? Right?
It's so good.
I mean,
like really.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Man, I've been eating like Mountain House or whatever since late 90s when they just came out. I used to work for back in another life. I was a stewardess or steward, whatever you call it, with the airlines. And I remember sitting in my hotel room in I think it was Australia, eating one of these bean whatever stews, just thinking like, how is this going to be revolutionizing how I do these mountain hunts? Because we used to just go up with sandwiches and cheese and bread to
try to
spike camps.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the late 90s, I was figuring out like what Mountain House even was. Trail Fair was like top notch.
Oh,
Some
next
all the
level.
stuff. It's next level. And not even close. Like the Peak's great. I actually really like Peak's probably my favorite. Like if Trail Fair wasn't around, all the rest are quite a bit lower.
Yeah, Trail Fair is going to be at the show, and they're going to be in Penticton, and they're just great people too. They obviously they partner with us. They give us a bunch of meals to give away on our as prizes, and the odd one sneaks into my bag. But yeah, they're really, really good. So would you guys eat a whole one each, or were you able to split them? Yeah. So isn't that good to have that really good meal at the end of the day? That's the morale boost of the day. The crappiest day out there, pouring rain, whatever, this and that. But if you have a good meal right before you go to bed.
Yeah, especially because it's warm. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. Like when I'm sheep hunting, often like I don't want to eat. I'm not unique that way. I think a lot of us are just we think of the punishment we're enduring, and you get back to the tent. Last thing you want to do is like boil water and eat something. You just want to crawl into the sleeping bag and sleep. But since I had Eric with, I had to feed him. He needed energy. So if he's eating, I'm eating. And I think I fared a lot better having that responsibility of being a father on this trip than I would looking after just myself. So it's kind of a little side note.
Isn't it funny how you get those little soft lessons, even as an older hunter, more experienced, something like that, and you realize, I should have been doing this for the last 15 years. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, let's try to. We're not going to go extreme details on the hunt. Like your story is so good. Again, I want people to go read the day by day and all the details, but I do want to unpack kind of the highlights of the hunt and walk us through it. But before we jump in, I'm really curious because when we first started chatting, Eric mentioned he was really excited to see these mountains and see this country. And I've been on that same jet boat many, many times in those same rivers that you guys traveled on. And I remember my first time when the boat tied off and we got off and that boat took off. What was that feeling like for you, Eric?
It was something different. Like we went to drop off our friends at a different spot. I just look up at this grassy hill and then we see some bears up there. And I was like, man, those mountains are so high. And my dad's like, those are just hills. Those aren't even mountains. And I'm like, what? Those are hills? That's higher than anything I've ever seen. And yeah, that was
Well, you know,
drove
the big difference between doing a flying hunt and a jet boat hunt is where you start on a jet boat hunt. You're starting at the absolute lowest point that you can start at. So, you know, it's convenient, it's great, gets you in a completely different country, but that is an overwhelming feeling when you get out of that boat and you look up, especially like how many K deep were you guys from the drop point?
Yeah, we were
far?
actually not too bad. Like I said, I didn't want to go over any extreme mountain passes. There's some passes to cross, but they're we kept it reasonable. I'd say probably at the furthest. Let's just say for the sake of argument, like 15K or something like that. Like some people are doing 200K round trips, and we didn't. Like you know, you go into a finger and go here and there, and you go to another finger and go here and there, and it does add up. But it wasn't like I think it was probably like a half sheep hunt that we did. But the first push is pretty hard, and then once you're into the alpine, then it's
Did you guys weigh your packs before you left? Did you have a rough idea?
No.
Was it even split, you think, on the gear?
No.
You made Eric call more on his first sheep
on the way back. No, he did good. To guess, I was 70 and he was probably
30 to 40 something.
No, you're like 45, I'd say. Somewhere in there.
But you split.
He had all his own food.
Yep.
And he had his own all his own gear. I had the tent, I had the optics, I had the gun.
No, I had the tent.
He had the tent.
You have the tent. So so you guys were splitting the gear up. So overall, it's a pretty light like setup. Do you do that normally with your other partners? Do you guys split gear, or do you like to have your own optics?
I've done it. Like I've kind of come full circle. We used to go, everybody has a spotting scope, everybody has binoculars, everybody has a gun. And then I started shedding things over the years, and then now I've come back full circle where generally everybody has a spotting scope, everybody has binoculars, everybody has a gun. With my son, it was different, of course. So we had 2 binoculars, 1 spotting scope, and 1 gun.
Okay.
But we did have a spare gun at base camp just in case anything went wrong. Then we could at least, like, you know, day and a half we're back.
Yeah. Okay. So day one, take the story. Both of you can jump in and out, but let's hear how day one went.
Sounds good. So day one, we got up not very early. We kind of slept in a little bit, but packed our stuff, then headed out into the forest, and then we're on an overgrown horse trail that the forest had half reclaimed. We could see all the cool I don't know what you call them, like the marks where the guides had been.
Oh, blaze.
Yeah, blazes.
Yeah.
And my
It
dad
was really overgrown.
Yeah. And then like you could see where the animals had like rerouted, and I thought it was so smart. The animals know how to go somewhere where they use the least amount of energy possible. And the bugs in that forest were nasty, and they kept trying to fly in your eyes and up your nose. It's just annoying. And then we broke to a rocky outcrop vein, valley kind of. And then there was super sunny, and you could see the damage that the spring melt does, because you could see all the rocks around, and that they had once been part of a huge river, and that when we were there, it was just a tiny small stream. And yeah, that's where we had lunch, the shade behind cliff. And,
and then I've kind of got on a few of my routes, I've got like certain spots where they're markers. I'm like, okay, because if you just say, oh, I feel like taking a break, it takes forever to get to where you're wanting to go. So you have your markers. Okay, at the 2 or 3 hour mark, you have your first break, and then maybe 2 hours later you have another break. So this one nice shady place where I like to have our lunch and get a drink.
Mhm.
And usually we don't carry water from where we start. We hit the first water break. It's the incentive to move pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's that first, man, those first few hours hiking, like the backpack's on and everything hurts.
The
And
hips hurt and
the weight is way more than you're used to. So it's like everything's kind of just getting broken in.
Mhm.
So to carry that extra couple of kilos of water, I like to know, okay, there's a stream up there. That's where we're gonna drink next.
Mhm.
So yeah, we do that, and then we rock hop. Man, I tell you, there's some crappy rocks to hike in. Some are pretty good.
Yeah.
Some are really crappy.
Well, essentially, you're in a lot of that country. You're following a drainage for a long ways, whether you're in it or on the horse trail or the game trail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you try and get out of the river into the green, well, yeah, maybe that works good for a bit, but then you get into some cliffs or you have to come back down anyway, so you wasted all this energy going up. So certain places I just follow the river. Sometimes you just try and take the height of land. Depends on the route. So took us all day, better part of the day to get to this one valley. I know that's not too far. And that's the valley where we've seen a number of sheep over the years.
Mhm.
So that's the valley where we spent the next 4 days. I wasn't expecting to spend that much time, but 4 or 5 days there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I went back through the story today, so I've got a bit of a head start for a lot of the people that are on the show tonight. But when did you spot your first sheep, Eric? How far into the trip?
My first sheep, I think we spotted it on, what was it? I think it took 1 day to get halfway. And then I think another day to get full way. So it must have been on day 3, I think early morning or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Mhm.
Man, it's a blur already.
Oh yeah,
But
it is for sure.
it was just above our camp. I was looking up with my binoculars, and then I see like what looked to be just like a little head, and kind of looked like a rock, but not really. And then I was like, "Dad, what is that?" And then you look through the spotting scope. It's like, that's your first ram that you see.
Nice.
It's a tiny little banana ram.
Maybe 2-3-year-old.
Yeah.
He spotted a lot of sheep. Like this last year, or maybe last hunting season was the first time where he actually started to find some deer. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of help here. And when we went in for sheep, I'd say he saw maybe half the sheep. We didn't see that many, but he was spotting quite a few. So
Mhm.
that felt good.
Yeah,
That
those young
took a
eyes
little
are
pressure
great.
off of me. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but I found the big ones.
You have the trained eye.
So you had a particular ram you were hoping to find, right?
Yes.
This is the same area then that you were in. Was it the year before or 2 years before?
Yeah, the same. No, it was the previous year. It was the previous year.
Yeah.
The previous year we had run into this one ram. We called him Gimpy. He had such a cool horn. Like one side was normal, like what you expect, but the other side, it's like he only had last year I want to say he had a 3/4 curl, and then he goes from fat to just this little, like even off angled lamb tip.
Yeah, it's like a nipple.
It's like a nipple, and it's like when you take an ice cream and you kind of push the ice cream down.
Mhm.
So you got this like defined ridge. So his second year almost grew just straight out. So it was like first year, second year, then third year, something like that, but only on one horn. So anyway, we made a play for him the season before, and I have no idea how he got away from us, because we had him dead to rights. Like literally, he was in this one spot that he couldn't see us. We made our sneak. We did the long trek around. I want to say maybe an hour and a half, and we were gonna shoot him within 150 yards. And we came over the rise, and he was gone. He was nowhere to be seen. So certain rams just know not to be there, and I haven't found too many of those, and he was one of those ones. So like that year, I'm like, you bugger, I'm gonna find you. Like, at least in my head, that's what I said. So then this year, when Eric and I went in, we were in the same valley, like the same spot. he wasn't in the lowlands. He was actually at the top of the mountain because it was so warm. But as soon as I saw him, like within 5 seconds, I'm like, there's Gimpy.
Mhm.
I did not expect to find him, but he was there, and I'm like, redemption. This is meant to be. We're gonna get this round. This is why we didn't get him last year. At least that's what I was thinking. So I was so jazzed. I'm like, this is going to be like this culmination of this long pursuit from the previous year, the unsuccess, the redemption, and then the victory is going to be like Eric gets it too. Like, how cool is that? So that's
and that's another thing there, which I was going to ask Eric. So this must have been exciting for you because you had heard the story of this previous hunt, and that was what triggered the motion to get Eric to go on this next sheep hunt, right? Was, if you're reading in the story, you talk about how Eric asked you the question, is he going to be alive next year?
Yeah.
Right. Which is really cool. So you did see him. What happened with Gimpy?
So he was on the top of the mountain, just off the top of the mountain. And I've actually never gone on that mountain to the top. It's gnarlier than the side I was on. And I didn't even know if we could make it that high. It's like, I'm scared of heights. And where he had bedded, I was sure we could get there. But if we had shot and then he runs into some of the steeper stuff, I like
no recovery.
No, maybe not.
Yeah.
It was one of those unknowns, right? Like, I know that area quite well. But hey, what do? You got to go where they are. You got no choice. So we had to wait for his head to, like, he ended up bedding down, and there was this massive boulder. I think in one of the pictures, like, you see just his head peeking over the rock. So later on, he beds his head down, and his head goes behind that rock. So we had to clear, I want to say, about 400, maybe 600 yards of open country where he could see us. But then we were going to be on his side of the mountain, and we could just roll over, work with the wind, come up, and then I was thinking we would come across almost on the level. Maybe he'd be, 50 or 100 yards higher with maybe a 200-yard shot. So that was the plan. But it was, that's a hard mountain to climb at the beginning of a hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we did that. We went light. We had left all our gear behind, and just as we were coming over, like no mountain is just straight up. You always have these little folds and bluffs. So we were coming up upon the last bluff just below it, and I was thinking once we get to that bluff, then we would be either seeing him or even shooting him. But we were maybe 100 yards below that edge, and then I saw the wind shift, and it started going straight to him. Like, oh man! And there's nothing you can do. Like, now we're within striking distance, and you can't now just all of a sudden stop and go back down and go around.
Yeah.
So we had
You're fully committed.
We were fully committed, and he just disappeared on us. I have no idea if he smelt us, or maybe he had his eye behind the rock as we were traversing that 600 yard open field. Whatever it is, he eluded me again.
Yeah.
Eluded us again.
How old do you think he is?
I think he's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say 10. I don't think he's older. He's definitely not younger. So
So he's one of those.
Maybe 11. But
So he's a deformed ram on that side from an injury, you think, or a fall? You think that's what did it, or just you think it's natural?
I don't know.
Because you see some of those rams. I'm getting my ram done by Miles Hansen out of Port St. John. And if you go, his website's Nooks Taxidermy. If you go on his website, he's got 3 or 4 really gnarly looking, like really deformed looking horn rams.
Yeah.
And you see those every once in a while. You see somebody shoots one of those, but that's a pretty unique trophy, especially if they make it past that double digit mark.
Yeah.
That's a great trophy. So
yeah, I've seen some deformed ones, and it's often both sides. To have one, and also basically from birth. That's, he probably was injured. He probably had
something
hurt himself early on
in that first year or something, hit a rock or hard fall.
Yeah.
So then did you guys, from that point on, he's gone. Were you thinking in your mind, plan B now? We're gonna hit somewhere else, or where's your head at?
Yeah, it was kind of tough because like, so a little bit of backstory. I knew there was a group of 4 coming in. I know these guys. They were coming in 4 days behind us. So and those guys get after it. So I knew we really only had a certain amount of window, and we had predetermined that they would leave a certain area for us. They knew that I was bringing.
Oh, so you talked to them in advance, like you have a relationship with them, obviously. So
yeah, because like you kind of get to know people who hunt your areas, and these guys we met in 2014, and so we had kind of it's actually a really long story that we'll probably have to save for maybe another podcast.
Oh yeah, sheep camp with Kevin.
It's a super cool
okay,
story.
We'll park that one.
so we try and do the common courtesy of like, when are you guys going in? This is our plan, this is your plan, like how do we split up our area rather than one person trying to get the whole area because they're 4 days early. Let's just say, okay, back here's your area, back here's my area, and everybody's then happy for each other. So, and we even said like, they asked like, do you mind if we do base camp in your base camp? And I'm like, no, the more the merrier. So it's actually really cool. So I knew they were coming behind us, and I knew our area is pretty small. Not that I wanted to kind of peek into their area, like that's their spot. So I knew I had this valley and I had a different valley. It's actually pretty big, but I like to travel less and wait for the animals to come to me, so to speak. But eventually, like, you get bored and you get tired. You gotta
move at some point. Yeah.
So my goal was to park us in that valley. We're not going to move, and we're going to wait for Gimpy because I don't think we bumped him out of the area. I truly believe that he had rolled over an edge and he was going to come back within a couple of days. We've done this before, right? Like where you push something and then they come back as long as you don't. Yeah. So we stayed for 3 or 4 days, and it's exhausting. Like the days are so long, and this particular valley didn't actually have anything happening. Even that banana was gone, and there's a couple other half girls, quarter girls. They were gone. So I just looked like, eventually it's like, okay, we're running out of time. the guys are coming up. Like let's make a decision. Let's leave Gimpy alone and let's go up and over to the second area. So that's what we did. Yeah. And as we were going up and over the mountain pass, I actually looked back the way we came, and I saw 2 of the 4 guys coming up the trail, and I'm like, here we go.
They're here.
So they ended up going into our valley, and we knew they were gonna just bypass us and then carry on. So that was the plan. I actually wanted to visit with them, but it didn't work out. So they went into our valley. We rolled up and over the mountain, and then the other valley was completely empty. Almost no, there was one ram in there, right? Or was there 2?
There was
only one
on top.
Yeah. So another area that usually has some. If they're not here, they're there. Or if they're not there, then they're in this third area. So it's like, where you've seen success, and both areas were pretty devoid of animals, and I think it had to do with the heat, and probably the pressure from before us.
I forgot to ask. So obviously, this opener, or were you? What time of the season?
No, beginning of school.
So after Labor Day.
September.
Okay, so September.
Yeah.
It's still buggy then, because it was buggy for opener this year.
We've had it buggy. Okay, this is about as hot as we've had it for a September. But we've had it where it's -15 same time. Like that's why, like, the preparation, we're preparing for frostbite, and we're also now, which we didn't prepare for, is sunburn.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such wild extremes up north.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you got to have everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so these guys are on your heels, and you get to the second spot, which is sort of the last of the area, predetermined area for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was figuring we'd park ourselves there for like 2 days, maybe 3 max. Like our food was stretching already. And then if there's nothing, then we're just gonna head back and go for goats or elk or moose or whatever. So yeah, we dropped down in the valley. I actually wanted to stay up top but the rain and the storm was coming in, and I slept there.
Pretty windy.
Yeah, and it was really windy too. So I just thought, like, let's keep this enjoyable. Let's drop down maybe 400 or 500 yards and get out of the rocks and into the green again.
Yeah,
and set up a tent and wait out the rain. So, and then what happened?
So we kind of rolled down the mountain slowly, careful not to slip on like the lichen. And then
That's dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
especially
one-
if it's a little wet.
there's one step I took, and I was like, I just got the adrenaline rush. Like my foot kicked out, and I was like, oh boy! So I just grabbed the rock, and I was like, oh man, I just slipped all the way down.
Scared you.
Yeah, it did scare me. So then we made it down about halfway, and we see 3 ewes, or was there more?
3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah. And then we were trying to be careful because we didn't want to bump them into that valley and scare everything in that area. So then we kind of just slowly picked our way, kind of a little bit of a loop around them, and then they kind of just slowly walked away from us and didn't really care that much. Then there was this nice shelf, and we parked ourselves there. We set up tent. It was kind of last light, so we made dinner. Then we were looking around, and then we saw some goats on the other side and decided to go for them in the morning because we haven't seen anything really yet. And then, yeah,
And they were in an accessible area.
So it was going from a sheep hunt to a goat hunt, because you're looking at your time too, right? What day of the trip were you at here?
Probably
Over halfway, I think. Eh?
somewhere around the week mark.
Okay.
I know we only packed food for, I think, I want to say
8 days.
8 days, something like that.
So you got a couple days left then.
We could have pushed it.
Mhm.
And I always squirrel away a little bit extra food where, it's emergency food. But like really our area was devoid of animals. It's there's times where you're like, okay, the sheep hunt's over. So it was the night before, like the valley was clear. There was nothing coming up and over, I didn't think. And like from our vantage spot, we can actually see a bunch of the other fingers. So it could be that you see something like 4K away, and then we could make a play, but like all of those mountains were empty as well. So it's kind of a vantage spot that's really nice. Like my main goal was hunting this valley, but there's other ones that you can see. So you can kind of do an audible as
Let's
needed.
go. Yeah.
So I took a good look, and there was the one, let's call it a 3/4. I can't remember what it was. And there's 2 goats, and they were like in an accessible area, and they almost never are. And I'm scared of heights. So there's 2 billies that were coming down, and so I kind of made the suggestion, what do you think, Eric? And so we were mulling it over in the evening. So he was excited to get
Oh,
a goat.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And but like in my heart, I'm like, I just don't want to. It's not settling for a goat, but if you have your mind on a sheep, like anything else is a settle, whether it's an elephant or whatever. Like it's you feel like you didn't accomplish what your goal was. But at the same time, like that's hunting. It's not every trip is going to be a success. So as I went to bed, I was thinking, okay, let's maybe get Eric a goat, and if nothing else pops up. So next morning we got up, and Eric, I tried to let Eric sleep in because
I was going to ask you, and I love this line. You mentioned it on the show with Kevin. You like to take a day off in the middle of the hunt, right? What do you call it? The Sabbath day?
the Sabbath day.
The Sabbath day. I started using that this last year. I was like, yeah, we need a Sabbath day. For us on our sheep hunt last year, it was about 30 hours of rain and wind. So it happened for us, not because we chose it, but yeah. So you guys haven't had like a full day off yet, right?
No, we actually had a lot of rest when we were in that valley for the 4 days.
Boring section there.
Like Eric was sleeping all day.
Teenager.
I was sleeping until 10.
So like the sun's beating down, and there's only so many mountains you can see from your vantage spot. And I don't like to walk. Like the animals can see you, and you don't see them. You have to kind of, at least the way I hunt. There's many different ways of hunting. For me, I like to let the animals make a mistake, and then once I see what's going on, then I can either make a play or just wait for them.
Do you like to sit through some feeding cycles too, right? Like morning and afternoon and evening. Yeah. And I think that for me personally, that's the best way, is like Ed and I kind of have this plan on our hunt. I think he does the same thing. He wants to give each section at least 2 days.
Mhm.
You know, you want, if you can see 4 or 5K and you're in sheep country, you should be really, in my opinion, big one ram under my belt, lots of experience here, but just from what I've noticed, when you want to really see what sheep are doing and patterning them, if they're there,
Mhm.
you got to sit through those cycles, right? So,
And if you look at a mountain valley, even let's say you're looking at a bull or a
Mhm.
couple of bulls, like you think you can see it all, right? I don't think we can see a third of it,
no,
even though it feels like you can see
Yeah.
80 to 90% of it. It's just not true. There's these little folds up top. There's folds in the side. Everything changes when you move a kilometer. So if everything's changing for you moving a kilometer, how about what are the animals then seeing? They're seeing you. So
Mhm.
they're gonna stay in these folds, or they're gonna do what they do to survive. So I like to get into one spot where I can see actually quite a bit and just wait and let the mountain do what it does. So if they don't know we're there, they're just sheep. So yeah, it's my tactic. There's
Mhm.
many different tactics. So yeah, no, we had a lot of rest. So I let Eric sleep in.
Mhm.
You know, the days are long. So I do my glassing. I glass for 2-3 hours, and I take an hour off, and then go back to glassing for another hour, or take an hour off. So it's just, you know, I try and make it an enjoyable trip. And we talk about food, and we talk about, you know, fishing or whatever
Yep.
under the sun, and
Talk about food again, Robert.
and you know, Chuck, it's actually unbelievable. Like the first handful of days is kind of just, you know, father and son. But it was the second half of the trip, he started asking questions that, like, as a dad, is amazing to hear. Like these philosophical questions or hypotheticals about life, about, you know, like girls in school and work and this and that and God. Like it's super neat. Like this stuff doesn't come out when we have an hour together over dinner on
Sure,
a
yeah.
Thursday, right? Like it takes a while to get this out. And not that I'm fishing, I think it's just natural where
Yeah.
the conversation goes. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a connection, right? And it's the same whether it's your son or your partner, and like you always seem to learn something new with, even if you hunt with the same person 10 of those trips, you'll find something new about them every time.
Mhm.
And that's cool. That's cool. So okay, so you guys you were up in the morning early
Yeah.
glassing.
Yeah. So the routine was I would get up first light.
Mhm.
You I'm an old man. I gotta take my leak, right? So
Yep. That's the best time, is at 4 a.m.
that's great. So then I just do the glassing before the sun comes out, when you actually see the hills pretty good. And yeah. And so I was looking at the goats. They were staying in that really good spot, and I heard Eric stirring. I was probably glassing for about an hour and a half, and I was getting to that point where I noticed like this area is devoid of animals, and we don't have enough time to wait for the next ones to come in. So like, yeah, that was
Today's the day. You're either going to get lucky or you're going to go after a goat and start working your way up. Okay.
yeah. So I started looking at those goats, and so I took my spotting scope and I stood up to readjust because they were in a different angle. And as I stood there, you know, I'm stretching. You sit there on in the tundra, and it's hard on the back and on the butt. So I'm standing there, you know, just looking at the goats that are about, I don't know, maybe 2K away. And I just looked down and I'm like, oh my goodness, like rookie mistakes. Like, or actually, no, I just saw something dark and I was thinking it was like a Wolverine or whatever. So just standing there with one hand, I look through with my binoculars and I see it's it's a sheep, it's a ram. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
hit the ground, like rookie mistake. So then I just kind of get set up again, and the one became two, and Eric's still stirring, and I hear him like, you know, working on the zipper and that sort of thing. And at this point, I think I had about 10 minutes to to look at these two rams, and one was definitely like a, you know, 6-7 year old, just over 3/4 curl, but the other one was good, and just like kind of know what to look for, and right away I'm like, okay, that's around that can be killed. Yet at the same time, still got to go through the motions of like, what's the horn, what's the age, what's the body like there's this whole play you do.
Checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it and you just keep doing it until like you know that it's like you're not hoping, you're not guessing, you're not like you keep going back to saying, okay, what happens in this scenario from this angle on the horn? What like what happens if in the fall the tip that you think is over breaks off because crap happens, right?
Until all those words like should be, gotta be, but when those are no longer in the conversation, then right?
Yeah, so I was kind of in the early stages of like of the checklist, and then so I hear Eric stirring, and so I tell him, hey Eric, like there's some rams down here, so we kind of go through our little spiel. It was actually funny because I think I was recording them through the what do you call not the all-in, the mountain mag.
Okay,
I think it is
the mountain mag one, yeah.
So I'm recording this ram doing its thing, and you hear me in the background saying, "Hey Eric, make me a coffee." So he's working on the housekeeping while I'm
Nice.
doing the judging. So, but he had a good look, and he's like, "Yeah, it looks nice." So yeah, probably spent an hour and a half on judging the ram, and like really in the first 2 minutes, I like. I'm already like 98% sure, but still like another hour and a half to go. Okay, I'm making sure there's nothing I can do. They're still too far away anyway. They're at 500 yards. I've got nothing but time, but I just, as the time allows, I just keep reevaluating.
Did they know you were there?
No.
So that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were on this little grass knob, the only flat spot in the area, besides like down at creek level, and they're down at creek level. So just the way the hill worked, like our tent was hidden, I was hidden except when I was standing, and so they couldn't see it. Like my head wasn't skyline. You had the mountain behind
the backdrop
my head.
behind you. Yeah. Nice.
So it's all the time in the world, but we were also pinned down. Like our spot made it so that we couldn't go backwards, couldn't go up, couldn't go down, couldn't go forwards. Like we were literally stuck. So we were at the mercy of what are these sheep gonna do? And like well, I mean, the story it's kind of going through the hey God, like we need some help here, like nothing we can do, like as a hunter I'm stuck, like we need your help. And it worked out, everything worked out. The sheep happened to feed our way. The young ram led, which almost never happens,
right?
Where he was going, it made sense, but not really. Like they should have gone up valley, or they should have gone on the other mountain. They shouldn't have crossed where they did. And they did. And it happened to be the only spot that would give us a sniff. And then we had maybe a 80 or 100 yard crawl on this flat bench. And then they needed to feed past us, and they did. So it was interesting because when we were finally in position and I'm videoing like Eric getting ready. So like I told him, like sheep hunting generally doesn't happen fast. It's this long, slow, usually methodical chess match of like when you're eventually you're going to take a shot when it's time, but it doesn't necessarily need to happen only in one moment. There's many different moments you could actually shoot. So when this ram finally gave him a chance at 235, like I told him, like his trajectory would probably take him to about 180 if he didn't bed down in between. And I said, so like 180 would help a lot. And he just said, Dad, like I can kill him. I'm good. So like now I want a success. Now we're ready. We're in position. And I like 180 over 235, right? Like I just do.
So this is where the 20 plus years of experience sheep hunting goes up a notch, and you're like, you gonna tell him let's wait a little bit because he says he's ready.
I was just about to overrule him, saying like this is what we need to do. Sorry, I'm not supposed to bang on the table. This is like where I wanted to, like where the dad says, no, this is what we're doing. And the voice, like my dad, he always gave us opportunities to make mistakes. Like
sure.
My brother, myself, we would say, I want to shoot that deer from here. My dad would say, that's way too far. But yeah, we insisted. So he'd say, go for it. And he knew we were blowing out the deer, and that's exactly what would happen. But it was a learning lesson to know, get closer next time.
Teachable moments.
Teachable moment. And it's hard when you're looking at a good round.
Mhm.
and like all these great things can happen if we just wait like 15, 20 more minutes, and he closes the distance another 50 yards. But it was one of those things where I'm like, no, he says he's ready, and I think he's a young man, and it's time for him to make his own decision and lay in the bed he's going to make. So I'm like, son, if you feel comfortable, you get one shot. This is going to be your best shot. Don't think about the second shot. If you only pull the trigger if you know he's going to die. So then that's what we did. And
Mhm.
that's part of the anxiety too in the video, going,
That picture's awesome. Like, again, you guys got to check out this photo. Okay, Eric, walk us through what happens next.
So we're at like the ridge, looking down to this huge valley, something that's super beautiful. And then at the bottom, there's just this white spot and this dark spot. Then my dad says, that white spot over there, he's your ram. So I'm looking through the scope. I'm shaking like crazy. It's such a pretty animal that I've never seen. And I'm like, I want to take him home. So I got that buck fever, and like, oh man, this is gonna go bad. I'm gonna be so embarrassed. My dad's like, it's a paper target. So we're sitting there for 10 minutes, a heart rate slowly dropping, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm ready. So I was holding the crosshairs right on him, and I'm like, if I was to pull the trigger, this would be a good shot. And then if I feel like I'm finally good enough, I'm not going to jump or twitch or anything like that, I slowly squeeze the trigger, and I'm like, please let the bullet hit the animal. Please.
Haven't we all said that, Ron?
And
Still do. Oh, still do every time. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no problem. And then I pull the trigger, and I just see him run. I'm like, oh no, he ran away. And he runs like 30 yards at most, and then just topples over. And I'm like, yes, we finally did it. It's just amazing. Like, see this animal go down. It's so big, and it was something different. I'm so happy.
So, Ron, were you looking through binos, or were you just bare eyes on the shot? I guess it was only a couple hundred yards, so you probably were just watching. Were you were spotting
no,
for impacts?
I was with my binos.
Okay, so you were spotting impact.
Like I'm laying down, and like, I'm
Right.
locked in, right? So
Yeah.
And the barrel was like in front of me. Yeah, I was locked in.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was through the binos, because I wanted to know where that hit was going, because it's a little bit far, right?
Could you guys hear the impact? Because sometimes at that range, depending on what what the valleys and stuff are like, you don't hear a sound hit. Is that if it's closer, like 500 yards? Sometimes you hear that.
Yeah.
Buck, did you guys hear impact?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
probably didn't
don't
then.
remember. But I saw the hit.
Yeah, so you
Like
knew
I
it
saw
was
him hunch
good.
up, and he goes to reload, and I said, "Don't shoot." Like I knew it was a good hit.
Mhm.
So he says 30 yards. It was actually 10 yards. Like he just took 5 or 6 steps, and then just did the whole topple over, and he was kind of
that's
walking up the gully or running up the gully. So then by the time I got my camera going and I hit record, the young one's like right where the big one fell from, and he just kept looking in the gully, and there's this buckbrush, and he was dead there.
Wow.
That was like I can't describe that. There's nothing like it.
No.
Where you're like, kid got a ram, and we're like, it's done.
Yeah.
This thing that I've been thinking about and dreaming for years is
Mhm.
here. So yeah,
Someday.
that was cool.
Right?
Someday, yeah.
Sorry, we have one of the listeners just asked the range again. What was it?
235.
235, Anthony. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see him laying there from 235 yards.
No, we didn't see him.
Oh,
he
you
fell in the buckbrush.
Oh, so you saw him, then he disappeared. Okay.
So I just said, get ready in case he does run back out.
Okay.
But I saw the way he fell and where it
Yeah,
hit.
pretty sure, yeah.
It's game over. But you never know. Like,
Yeah.
weird things happen. So then we just kind of stayed there for 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
watched the little guy just stand there, and I'm like, okay, eventually. Like, I don't like to let the other rams know what happened. So you
Mhm.
kind of just let them be. Because I want to hunt that one in 5 years from now.
Yeah, you don't want to
10 years
school
from
him.
now.
Yeah.
Don't want to teach him. So
At this point, he doesn't know. He thinks Buddy got shot by the, lightning bolt or something. Right?
yeah. He's just like, why are you laying down? Like,
Yeah.
something just happened.
No yelling, yeehaws, and
Yeah,
Nothing
not yet. So
Okay.
and then, like, I mean, how often do we see that where like we'll shoot something, we'll shoot around, and then like the band will be 400 or 500 yards away, just standing there looking at us. 'Cause
Mhm.
they're trying to compute. They're trying to figure out, like, are you just another caribou?
Mhm.
What are you doing on our lead ram here? There's all these thoughts that are going through the sheep mind, and they're connecting, and they're going to connect for life. So you're trying not to let on, because you're making your job harder next year, but at the same time, eventually you got to go. So this ram didn't want to leave. He just hung around. So we
Mhm.
eventually said, okay, it's time to go.
Mhm.
And this is one of those, again, those teachable moments where I said, Derek, I know I want you to touch your ram first, but you need to guide me in, because there's actually like 3 little hogbacks in there. And I've lost animals, like deer and stuff, where you think you know where they fell, and
Yeah.
you get totally turned around.
Well, you get excited right after the shot,
Yeah.
and then you miss landmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had it too. Like, even shot a deer a couple years ago at like 70 yards, and he ran over this little knoll, and I thought, oh, he's dead right there.
Mhm.
And I raced right over there, went right past the spot where I made the impact, and I looked into the valley that he was supposed to be in, and he wasn't there.
Mhm.
And I found him three little like hogbacks over, like you said, but going back to try to find the point of impact, and there was like 3 sagebrush trees, and I couldn't remember which one he was standing in front of. So it's really easy to mess that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we got 2 people. Like, when you're by yourself,
Mhm.
you gotta go. So I just said, teachable moment, Eric, you're gonna tell me, like, with hand signals exactly where I am. And then because he actually thought it was in the gully beforehand.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
so I had actually bypassed the gully he thought it was in, because
Okay.
I knew I had a knowledge of where he was. So I didn't even look back until I got into the right gully. And then he's just like, this way, when I'm standing there, I can see the dead ram. Right?
There you
So
go.
anyway, I just told him, I told him to then come.
Yep.
And all the while, the other young ram, he's now at the top of the mountain looking at us.
Mhm.
And it was like, 25 years later, after the first ram I see dead, it's still, I don't care how far over the nose he is or how many age rings he has, that walk up always feels like this
Oh, yeah.
like, what have we done? Did we screw up? It's such a thing that I can't get out of my head. Like, how many times, like, you're in 4-point muley season, and I never think, oh, does he have a 4th point? I've counted it, right? Like,
Yeah.
just walk up to the dead end.
You don't second guess with
You don't
anything but
second guess.
sheep.
But
Yeah.
sheep, it's always that way. I don't know why. So it's like, of course he's legal, but still that 235-yard walk, it's like, what happens if? And that scenario goes through your head. Then, like,
Mhm.
it's not just you making a mistake. You just screwed up your son's hunting career, right?
Exactly.
So it was like a quite a bit more
Mhm.
nerve-wracking than if I'm pulling the trigger, right? So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not guessing. Like, I know he was
I hear
legal,
you.
but it still feels like, what if, right?
There's a level of gravity to sheep hunting when you have that weighing on you, as far as, like, even if it was your ram versus Eric's ram. You're right. I mean, I had the same thing, and I'd watch mine for 2 days, and I knew he was 3 inches over the nose, but I'm still like walking up. I was still like, in my mind, it's like, well, what, all these crazy things go through your mind, right?
Yeah.
Did I shoot the right ram? Maybe
Yeah.
there was a second one in that picture and I didn't see it. Like, all of that can happen, right? But okay, cool. So I want to hear the walk up. So walk us through the last few steps.
Last few steps, I was coming around through the little hills and stuff, and then I see my dad. And he's like, it's right there, and I'm trying to find it, but I can't see because there's like so much brush around. And all of a sudden, I stepped right where he was, and I was like, and it was right there. I was like, I think it's huge. Like, compared to a deer, it's fat.
Oh yeah.
And like, I ran up to it and I look at its fur. It's like a nice, like, grayish white. I hold its horns, and like, these are heavy. Like, I've never felt like an animal that has that mass on it. And I hold it up. I'm like, I got this ram. It's gonna be in my room.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was something that I still remember, and I think I'll continue to remember that feeling of my first round. it's definitely special.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's so many cool things
Mhm.
about a sheep, right? I mean, you can just list them. This is why we do it, right? It's like, where do they live?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the colors, how do they blend in?
Yeah.
And then how old they have to be, right?
Mhm.
Can you imagine living up there for 8, 9, 10 winters?
Yep.
Right? You're up there in
Yeah.
September, right? What's it like in January?
Yeah. February.
You know, and they got grizzly bears, they got wolverines, they got wolves, all these things, all the odds are against them, and they still survive.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, then you start looking at the horns, and oh, I know it's incredible. So yeah, you will remember that for the rest of your life, I guarantee it. And what about you? This must have been when did the emotions start to really happen here? 'Cause I'm sure there had to be a father-son moment in here somewhere.
So I had my moment walking up.
Oh,
It's
because you
also-
were,
yeah. It was also part of the, like, I wanted to kind of be the man
yeah.
when he showed up, because I knew, like,
Gotta get this
I'm
out of the
a pretty
way.
emotional person.
Dad's gonna
right?
take a while. I'll go check it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, if you go back on the video, you can hear my voice cracking, and there's like a 45-second pause in between sentences and stuff. And then, so when I kind of collected myself, I'm like, okay, Eric, come on down, we're good.
Yeah.
So so then it was more like when we had our moment, he had his moment. Like he's more like my wife, like they don't really show too much emotion.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. So like we definitely had a father-son enjoyment, right, where we sit there and we're just, you know, stroking the hide and feeling the mass and counting
Thanking
the
him,
rings,
sure.
talking about like the roadmap of the 9 years old, where there was either a bad summer or he had a wound because there's a false line there, and then you just get like and some of the nicks and breaks in the horns from battles, and kind of just go through it all. And like I wasn't quick with the knife because it was like 9:30 in the morning.
You got to savor it.
We're in a flat spot. We have now our hunt is done. You know, downstream is where we need to go. Like we got all the time in the world here.
Yeah.
So we got some great pictures, great moments. We had a good hug after I pulled the trigger. Like,
So
that
cool.
was pretty good. Yeah.
So when
was
did
fun.
you send the ram down text to your mom?
Probably that night. We're not quick to like include everybody in everything.
Mhm.
Of course, the missus is like closest and nearest to our hearts, so she's gonna be the first to hear. But it's like we're living in this moment,
Mhm.
and the people who are closest to us, who are just outside of this bubble, are gonna hear next.
Yeah.
But we're
We
not
got
in a
them
hurry
later.
to spread that news. Like we actually really enjoyed this. I think it was probably that evening when we got back, when we
Back to camp.
creaky with our bones just creaking, getting back into camp. I think that's probably where I sent the message.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was pretty neat. Like we had a lot of time around the ram, and then the rain started coming in, and we had like we had a yard sale on that mountain up there where Eric had shot
Oh,
from.
all your gear was up there. Yeah.
Everything was spread out, right? So
So we emptied everything to go pack them up.
yeah. So I told Eric, look, you go up there, pack up camp, get everything together, and meet me on, like I pointed out, a different knob. Meet me down there. I'm gonna take care of this thing. It's gonna take me about 2 hours. It's gonna take you about 2 hours. We're within shouting distance.
Mhm.
But we'll then meet on that far hillside. Then as he kind of disappeared up and over the mountain, or up and over that ridge where I couldn't see him anymore, I got that feeling like he doesn't have a gun.
Mhm.
This area is full of blood now.
Yeah, we just
like-
killed something.
We killed something, but I don't know. I got that panicky feeling of like he needs to be with me, right? Like this is not good. But you also got to be the man, and I'm doing my job, and you do your job. I can't like hover parent, right? So for like at about hour and a half mark, I started getting really nervous. Like the rain was coming in, and I just never saw him, and so I was like sitting there, and I think I might have even called out once or twice. Then I said, no, let him be, let him grow up, let him, like, I got the gun here. He'll scream if there's a bear coming or something.
Mhm.
But all these kind of thoughts go through your mind when you're not in control. And then all of a sudden I see him on the horizon just walking the first set of backpack gear down, right? Because he's got my backpack. Yeah, I think you're bringing all the gear down, and then you're going to bring the empty backpacks to me. That's right. That's what we're going to do. So just as he's walking down the hogback, I'm just like, okay, God, thank you. Like, the panicky mind is now at ease. So, yeah, that was a gross feeling. I didn't like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, especially when you know you sent him there and no gun.
Yeah,
can't see him. But yeah, kids can be pretty loud when they're scared, though. So, yeah, right.
Hopefully,
here's hoping, right? Awesome. So, well, congratulations, man. That's such a great story. And you know, I remember talking to your dad about it, and obviously the story kind of, you know, maps it out in great detail too. But I have a couple questions. So, what was the pack out like for you?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done hunting. Heavier than I've ever pulled before. It's warm. The rocks are uneven. There's no really clear path. And we're hiking down steep hills to get to the river. And I just got tired. And halfway through, I was like, I just need a nap.
we were in some willows. Like, I know this country, and like the moose and the caribou are very, very low now, because we were into like 2.5 meter high willows. I lost my scope cover, and like I couldn't even walk forward anymore. Like, it was such a snarl.
They're like 7 feet tall at least.
Yeah,
That's sketchy too.
Once you lose the trail, like, it's bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
How many days did it take you guys to get to the river then?
1 day.
So you camped that night, and then you went out the same day.
Same day.
You hauled it out. You had a long ass day then. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And then how many days before you got picked up?
Okay, so we were, let's say day 9, we got back to base camp, and we had 13-14 days, so we had still a good 5 days to hunt. So our friends who went up, we were only in camp for a day, and those 2 guys came back. No, sorry, hang on. 2 of the guys had remained behind because they were doing a 3-week trip. So the one older guy and his partner were going to just hang out around the lake, do some fishing, blah, 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 down by the creek. And so they weren't going to leave for 4 or 5 days, kind of to let the area settle. While 2 of the other guys went up, and those are the guys we saw.
The 2 guys you saw, yeah.
So we get to the lake, and those guys are like, we're having a good time. We're eating some steaks and just enjoying. And like 24 hours roughly after we get back, they get an inReach saying they got a ram. Those guys got a ram. I'm like, oh, awesome, nice. And then we get an inReach right after that saying there's another one we're going for. We're just gonna. We screwed up. Took off. We're gonna get them. So 2 days after they got the first one, they got the other one. So they come back. They got a 9-year-old that's like 40-inch.
No kidding.
And they got a 12-year-old. I've never seen a 12 before.
In that country, that's hard to get to 12.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
In the valley where Gympie was, they never even got to where they were going to be. Had we stayed there one more day,
one more
day,
You could have 2 good rams.
well, hey, we got a good one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we chased a different good one, and these guys got 2 others. So like
something happened, them moved in. The weather, maybe that rainstorm pushed them in, or something
like that. And
yeah,
and those rams are within shooting distance of where we camped. So it's great. That's hunting. You never know what's going to happen. But some years are just really good. And this particular year, in this particular drainage, on that particular 3 or 4 days, was amazing.
No kidding.
So
and Gympie lived through this.
He lived through it.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 guys then went in afterwards, and they passed up some rams. And like the one guy who got the 12-year-old, that was his first sheep hunt.
No kidding. Well
Yeah.
played.
And that's an amazing story about like getting that old ram that's 100% senile.
Hmm.
If we have time, we'll spend 3 minutes on that because that's the ram that all of us actually are looking for. Not necessarily the length, but the age for sure. But he tells me the story that he pushed him out of the lowland, and that this ram stayed up in this mountain bowl, these rocks, and stared at a rock for 2 full days. Would look at this rock and then he would bed down. He would look at the rock and bed down. So eventually they're like, he's not coming back down. Dude just went straight at him, got to 250 yards away and shot him. Like an old senile ram that had nothing in his brain anymore. Like,
Wow.
that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
End of life right there.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe he was a little blind too? I guess hard to know, eh?
Yeah, who knows? But 100%. Like
12-year-old.
just old senile ram.
Huh.
Old snaggletooth.
That country, I don't think you see many rams past like 11. You hear of some 10-year-olds, like decent amount, but I don't think Kevin has shot one that old up there. I don't think.
I've never seen a dead 12-year-old.
Hmm.
I've seen a couple of dead 11s and then probably 3 or 4 10s, maybe 5.
Hmm.
But like when I see 11, I'm excited.
Hmm.
When I saw that 12th ring on him, I'm like, yeah, he was only like 36, 13 and a half base, but the stacked rings, right? Like he's like just right at the nose, just a very, very average ram.
Hmm.
But the age was just like that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And that was his first one.
First one. He had, like, I've never seen it before, but he had blisters like this on his heels. I got
Yeah.
pictures of it. It's just like, yeah, it's bad news.
He's also first ram and no pain tolerance, or like all pain tolerance, I guess.
He had the blisters before blown up though.
Oh,
to get the ram. So
Man.
anyway, yeah, like where I go is not necessarily a secret spot. A lot of people hunt here. There is no secret spots anymore.
Not so much.
There's tracks, there's trails, there's mountain house burns. We're not going into any area that is remote enough to say this is our area. And what I'm saying is, like, all areas can be good. You just need the right timing.
Hmm.
Animals need to be there. You can't make them older. You can't make them legal. But if you can just learn a few areas, learn where they like to be. The 12-year-old is there. You just might not be here a week.
Hmm.
Might be the next guy's week. So
Yeah, I mean, very well said. And when you like, I know your system for working areas is you've got several areas and you rotate, right? Like you don't go, in this case, you went 2 years in a row, but that's probably rare, right? You wouldn't go necessarily every single year, 2 years in a row to the same spot, but you move around.
yeah, 2 years I don't mind, but I don't like to push it beyond that.
Hmm.
But we might have to find Gimpy. Like,
You could be going back for Gimpy.
I know I'm I still like the 3rd year in a row, right? Like,
Yeah.
but
But you know he's there. I mean, if he makes it through this winter, which it's hard to know. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome, Eric. What was the biggest takeaway or lesson that you learned over the course of this trip?
Biggest lesson. Probably patience. Because I was expecting to see a whole bunch of like sheep, like you do when you're deer hunting, like you kind of see all the does and stuff, and you're just trying to find a buck. We didn't see anything. We saw about 3 groups or so, and only that one legal gimpy, and then he disappeared. So I was like, this sucks. There's nothing here. What are we doing waiting? And then, I don't know, we're walking. We still don't see anything. Like, this is such a bad area. And then all of a sudden, the ram comes out from right underneath us. And
Yeah.
It's been there the whole time. It's just how animals work, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, probably patience.
That's a pretty good lesson for the first-time sheep hunter, right? How many sheep hunters do you know that have been doing it for 20 years and still aren't patient?
oh, it took me 10 years to learn that.
Yeah, exactly.
You go into the area, sit down for 15 minutes. Oh, this area is empty.
Yeah.
And you carry on to the next one.
And you think about the rams you walk by that are just sitting behind that rock going, oh yeah, guy sat down for 10 minutes.
I've watched where people come into a valley.
Yeah.
And I'm watching other rams. and wait for them to make a mistake. And I see the people sit down, and they last for a half hour, 45 minutes, and then they're up and they're up and over the pass. And you're like, really? The ram was looking at you. I watched them watch you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I got another question for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So your dad has a very dry sense of humor, and he's very quick with his wit, and he cracks me up all the time whenever I talk to him. There's always some funny chirp or something funny he says. You got to give me some dirt on him. Is there something that your dad does that just makes you laugh, or was there something that happened on this trip?
You're grounded.
Maybe not this trip necessarily, but in general, sometimes find it's kind of like a hypocrite.
Cut.
Okay, do
Yeah.
tell.
He always says, "Look where you sit," because there's always cactuses.
Oh, okay.
So first time, there's a buck for my Opa, and he's about to shoot it. And my dad goes to lay down to take a look at him. He lies chest first in a huge patch of cactus. And yeah, he was feeling it after that.
Oh, that's
The
awesome.
second time, it was on another trip where there was another spotter looking for deer. Sat down on another cactus, I think the next year or something like that. And on that same trip, there's a stump and you want to take a break. He sat on there and it was full of sap. So
I'm trying to still, like, if you're going to do something, like, be smart about it. Think about what you're doing. Think about where you're stepping. Don't step on a stick. Think about where you're sitting. Don't sit on cactus. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm good at telling you what to do.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. We got a question. Clay is asking, on your way out with your sheep 3 or 4 hours from the river, did you run into a few hunters and end up chatting with them for a while? Or was it just the guys from your other group? Could be a trick question.
When we were carrying our ram out, we didn't see anybody.
Okay. So he's probably referring to some friends that probably ran into a father and son that had a ram and was wondering if it was you guys. That'd be what.
Well, like our partners who were downstream
Buddies
far
of-
enough to not run into each other. Like that's father son too. It was my brother-in-law and his son, 20-year-old, and he got a ram. Noah got a ram. So
Okay.
yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Like 2 fathers, 2 sons, and
Yeah,
2
yeah.
rams.
Well, we got to get, it's Marcus and Noah, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, we'll get them on for their story. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, you got to meet Noah. He's a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I chatted with him this morning on text. He texted
cool.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn. What did you learn from your son on this trip? Usually there's a lesson learned by dad.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, I guess, a good lesson. No, this is a good lesson for me. He's a lot more selective than I was when I was his age. When I was twice his age, he was way more selective. He was more selective than I was on this trip.
Mm-hmm.
We had some goats on the last day. The next day we were getting picked up. We had some goats across the way, and it took us a long time to get to them. And we were 120 yards away from this bedded goat, and he had his sights on it, and he says, "Dad, is it a billy?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not the biggest goat hunter, but I can generally tell the difference between a billy and a natty. But this one was one of those weird ones. And every now and then you get a goat that you just don't know." When I'm going to say when she was looking straight at me, because then it's, it doesn't hurt so much. When she was looking straight at me, she's got thin bases, pretty long horns. This area doesn't produce monster goats. But she turns sideways, and that's a billy, 100% a billy. When she looks at me, it's a nanny. So I'm like, son, like, I went between 60 and 80% a billy. And he says, "Well, that's not good enough." I'm like, "It's your first goat. Like, wouldn't it be cool to get 2 good animals?"
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
last day. And he's like, he's quiet for a while. He's like, I don't want to shoot anything unless it's a billy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, like, eat my words. He's right.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I was a little bit disappointed. Like, I'm like, I want to shoot a goat. I want to,
Yeah.
like, now the pride in the
Sure,
father's like,
sure.
you got a goat and a sheep, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's a billy. Like
Mhm.
needles moving to the billy. And then we're looking at her, and he says, "Dad, would you shoot it?" Or quiet for quite a while, right? He's like, "Dad, would you shoot it?" I'm like, "If you're not here, I'm shooting it."
Mhm.
He's like, "Is it a billy?" I'm like, "I don't know." And we did this for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dad, I'm not shooting it unless you know it's got a nut sack." I'm like, "I don't know."
Mhm.
So we stood up and it ran away, and we went back down the hill and went home. Like, that
That's a
was
good
hard.
choice because that would have probably stuck with him for the rest of his life if it was a nanny.
Yeah.
You know, I got a nice ram and then we shot a goat, but it was a nanny. There would have been a butt in there somewhere. So good choice. Good choice.
So he had I don't know if he had inadvertently thought that through or whatever, but I didn't until we started
Mhm.
hiking down, and I'm like, that was the right choice.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have added to the trip.
Yeah.
Like, we got what we wanted.
Mhm.
All the rest is bonus time. And why would we then, if it's even 10% a nanny, like,
Yeah, exactly.
we don't need this. So
Exactly.
no, he was right, but like, really, in the moment, I was like, shoot that sucker, right? I didn't tell him to, but I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, son, come on, choose to shoot this thing.
Oh, good call.
It was
Good call.
good. Pretty
Well, you know
good.
what, guys? We're almost there. It's an hour 46. I knew time would fly.
Well,
It's crazy how quick it goes, eh?
Yeah.
And I told you a couple weeks ago, it's just three guys sitting around talking hunting. So no
Yeah.
need to be nervous, and you weren't at all. Couple things I want to quickly touch on. And by the way, thank you so much for coming over and sharing the story. And congratulations again on winning that rifle.
Thank you.
It's such a cool gun. And actually, what I like about it is it really is the perfect caliber for you guys when you think about the use it's going to get. Because it's not just Eric, but you've got another son coming up in the ranks who's shooting that gun as well, right?
He
So
was the first to hunt with it. We just
Oh, yeah,
went,
'cause he
we
did the
came from
elk.
Fort St. John,
yeah,
and we didn't find an elk, but he was carrying it around. He was going to break that thing in.
yeah. Well, what an interesting caliber, right? The 7 backcountry, and you know, I asked Eric off air what he thought about it, and was like 0 recoil. Didn't seem to be as loud as the other rifles that you guys have shot and stuff. But I mean, when you look at the ballistics and the downrange performance of that gun,
Yep.
I mean, it'll kill anything in BC,
Yep.
like handily. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that this has become a family gun, which is really, really cool. So, and you guys are both going to be in Penticton. You've got a bit of you're going back and forth, right?
Yeah, we're going to be there a few times. Eric and me are going up Thursday night.
Mhm.
We're going to go check out that awards. I think that's a super neat
The RAM
program
Awards,
that they came up with. And then I've got to get back down for Friday, where the family's going away for the weekend. But then Eric is leaving us to go up with Marcus and Noah
Mhm.
back up to the sheep show for Friday, and then Saturday they're going to meet us in our camping spot. So
And you're going to bring your RAM up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we've got room on the rack of RAM to hang it there if you want. And I got one of your dads there too. So if you want me to bring it home, I'll be bringing one back anyway, but we can talk about that up at the show. And you can hang it out at our booth if you want and tell your story to anybody that comes along. If you're
Sounds
into
good.
that.
Yeah.
Chuck, I got a request though. Can
Yep.
you just put his really low? Because it'll make mine look bigger.
Yeah, for sure. You got that. You bet, Dad. Awesome. Well, just a little bit of housekeeping here before we close off the show tonight. As everybody knows, tomorrow, Thursday, the Salute to Conservation and Mountain Hunting Expo starts Thursday night up in Penticton. Also, our good buddy Ed Thompson has put the finishing touches on the Spike Camp Modern Classic rifle. He's done. He's on the show tonight, and he is getting up super early and driving down from Burns Lake. He's going to bring that rifle, and we are going to have it displayed at our booth throughout the show. And then Saturday night, we're going to give the rifle away. We're going to draw the winner at the banquet. I just want to give a special thank you to a few people here. Obviously, Ed's put the bulk of the work into this. He's got well over 100, probably close to 200 hours into it if he really digs in. It's a one-of-a-kind gun. It's just absolutely stunning. Donnie Lynham, thank you so much for the parts. Don Stevenson made a knife. He actually made 2 knives out of the trimmings from the stock, the ebony and the Turkish walnut. And Brian Thompson engraved a leather sling just for this rifle as well. So we're going to draw that winner again on Saturday. And also, last thing, we just launched our African Hunt giveaway. We did this last year. So every Spike Camp member gets 1 free entry. And this trip is for 2 hunters to go to Africa. I think it's 2 animals each. You're going to be hunting with Bosveld Jacobs Safaris. I've been there once, going back again in May. For every person that you refer to Spike Camp and they sign up as a member, you will get 2 bonus entries. And for every piece of merchandise that you buy, you get 2 entries. So our Spike Camp merch, I just got it all in here yesterday. We've got some new t-shirts and hats. We're going to be selling that at the show up in Penticton. And we will have our web store to order online sometime next week. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Ronnie, Eric, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you both, and drive safe, everybody. We'll see you all in Penticton.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the gun too. Like,
Mhm.
it's unbelievable. It's gonna do some damage.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get lots of stories out of that story, I think.
I think so. Thanks,
Yeah.
Omer.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Thanks, everybody. Good night.